Hi, I'm Hideki Taki. I'm your instructor at ADMG 424. First of all, thank you very much for your submission. I really enjoy reading, and also I really enjoy particularly the third part of the module 2. I always love this kind of assignment because this class is already advanced. It's a capstone. So basically, you learn enough. All you will learn in this class is logic, systems, so that you can think in a strategic way. So as long as you use such strategic planning kind of logic to be strategist, you actually simply add the experience and knowledge, and that will be strategic, management. So you got information from Disney, you digest it, and you actually add your own opinions, and you explain in the way strategists will explain, and that's all about it. And I really enjoy it. A lot of people are writing about division management and alignment. That is important. And some people talking about veteran affairs. And I will talk about veteran affairs if you look at my comment. That was my interest. So anyway, it's so cool that the student can teach instruct. I'm learning from you guys because you are different persons. If you have 10 persons, we have 10 different opinions. So if you have 10 strategists, maybe you have 10 different strategic approaches and thinking. So I'm just exposing myself to so many students in this class. I said, wow, this logic is cool. This logic is innovative. This logic is very interesting. So for me, it's really like learning, and I do appreciate that. So it is my honor actually to exchange my opinion with you. So please go over my opinions and just read it. And if you say, okay, this is his ideas, interesting ideas, or stupid ideas, it doesn't matter. As long as you capture my way of thinking. That's how we actually develop a way of thinking. Strategic planning is way of thinking. Okay, so if I said you should expand more argument, don't take it negatively. I just want to know more about the argument. I want to see more about your viewpoint because I'm really interested in that. Okay, so I don't punish. Okay, this is only first submission, so I just say, hey, please expand. You just expand. Okay, and when you expand, when you explain, then I'm ready to buy. I pay you with a good grade. Because this class, there is no right answer. If somebody looking for a particular answer in the business, the person doesn't know what the person is talking about. So this class is risk-free, stress-free, as long as you express your own opinions. And if you say, hey, you know what, I don't understand, I didn't get it, that's also your opinions. Then I say, okay, you're so honest with me, and just read my comment. I give you the credit just because I expect you to go over it. Because I trust it. I trust everybody. Okay? So, I'm really hoping that you understand my way of teaching here and my approaches. Now, let's talk about a little bit different. Again, nothing to do with the next module, but I just want to talk about a little bit about Mr. Masaru Ibuka. I was talking about the Mr. Honda last time. Now this time is the Ibuka. Mr. Ibuka is a founder of the Sony Corporation. When Ibuka founded the Sony Corporation, immediately after the World War II, he got Morita, Akio Morita. These two persons, good pair, because Ibuka is a pure inventor and engineer. He doesn't know anything about marketing. Morita is a businessman. He is a marketing guy. So he doesn't care so much about engineers, but he cares how he can sell the something Ibuka invented. It's very similar to the Honda Corporation. The Honda has a Mr. Honda and Mr. Fujisawa. Fujisawa, he doesn't care about engineering, he doesn't care about car, he got a driver license, but he never driven the car. He never owned the Honda car or any car because he likes train. Well, the company offered him the car, of course, but anyway, so Fujisawa doesn't care, but Fujisawa knows how to sell the cars. Amazing. Honda, Mr. Honda doesn't know anything about marketing, but he was genius about engineering, right? Same thing happened to the Sony. In fact, Mr. Ibuka and Mr. Honda, they are really good friends. And after Mr. Honda died, Ibuka was writing about relationship between him and Mr. Honda. They respect each other. They like each other because they are like the same person basically. But anyway, Sony was fortunate because Ibuka got promoted as a salesperson. Now, Ibuka is definitely engineers, inventors. So he got interest in engineering until the moment of his death. He was in the wheelchair at the very last moment of his life, but he was always like, his eyes are always like a young people, looking for a new thing. He want to try something new. He never judge anything new based on his experience. He's a nice old gentleman. And he wanted to create a small company for himself to do something really crazy. But before that he died, unfortunately. But it's something like that. And also, whenever he asked his, a subordinate, he said, so tell me about this technology. Generally speaking, you are talking about, okay, at this moment, like this, next year like this, 5 years, maybe like this. He didn't like it. He said, okay, how about now? How about near future? And tell me about 30 years from now. He always looking for very long term engineering point of view. Is something too wrong for some people? But I like his 30 years span. Because generally speaking, if you have one small new technology, if the new technology can create money for another 30 years, how about, investment? Investment is really, really good, right? So he's thinking about how this small invention, small technology can create money constantly for long period of time. That is also very responsible for investors, any stakeholders, because the company is supposed to stay in the market a long time. So he always said, how about now, near future, and 30 years. Very interesting. Now, if you go to the Google, you know more about him as a business person or engineers. I'm not talking about a business person now. I'm talking about Mr. Ibuka as an educator. His aunt was a Christian, and his aunt was dedicating herself to do something for society. Also, his relatives, even they are not Christians, they are actually doing something for society. He is very socially conscious person, and he is a good educator, childhood education. That is another face of the Mr. Ibuka. He really, pay attention to his employees, and especially kids of his employees. The interesting is that when he actually created Sony, and his idea is that I'm going to create something, some technology, some product, so that the people can have more time for themselves, more time for their families. That is just ridiculous in 1940s in Japan, because we are like workaholic. We are still workaholic. I know the Tokyo people, Tokyo business person. I was one of them. I didn't have my time. I'm glad to be here. Nice country, so much time for me. But anyway, so the Ibuka was talking about the value of the family, importance of the parents, the value of the kids. That's his educator side. I like it. And for example, he actually give the special gift to his employees when their kids went to the elementary school. When we go to elementary school in Japan, you have a special bag, leather bag. That's not cheap. A lot of people say, oh, how I can get some money for this particular bag. So Ibuka said, I have some money and I want to celebrate because going to the school is a good thing. So let me give you bags. It's amazing. Just a gift. And he offered them the first computer set of the stationery thing, fancy, pencils and kind of thing, the notebooks, and kids are like, oh, wow, I'm ready to study something or at least do something. So that's amazing. His value in the child care and childhood educations. He wrote several books about infant education, several books for like mothers who will be female who will be mothers. and also he created a Sony fund to support, the kids from the poor families to study something, to study anything in the Japanese schools. And he was a special patron leaders of the Boy Scout in Japan. He did as much as he can to support youth education because he thinks that's the future. He thinks that's really important. As a father, he was a really great father. His daughter was heavily handicapped, so it's so much like a limited ability to do something. Well, he said, okay, my daughter is not the case. It's not the only case. There are so many people with a heavy handicap. So he said, what if the company offered a factory, not for them, but in the way they can create something more with the handicap. That means he designed a factory, he designed a facility in the way handicapped person can produce just like we can do it. So the handicapped people got more confident. They have a confidence. They have a quality of life because they are comfortable with what they're doing. Ibuka never said, "Yo, you're poor people." No, he said, you are persons like us. You just need a special facility, instrument. That's all. I give you. Go ahead. He created Sony Taiyo Corporation. So Sony Taiyo is the factory that any handicapped person can produce like a really high productivity, and they're really happy. And also Ibuka set up like every design for the handicapped people, toilet and everything. It's a model factory for disabled persons, when they want to work. That's amazing, and they are actually making so much profit because they are so productive, and they are so happy, and they just stay in the factory because that's the place that they can express sometimes themselves. That's actually really amazing. He said, a person has ability. One is ability. Actually, you can observe, right? You can observe the ability, but also hidden ability, which is potential. When he was talking about ability, he combined everything. So he said, if somebody comes to Sony, if somebody is under me, I use your ability, which I can see. Also, I can bring your hidden ability in front of me for you. So you'll be really like high performance person. I give you my confidence too. He's just great person. I personally, I don't know him, but whenever I read his books, I read the books when I got the daughter. He's good. He's very good. But anyway, I want to remember, that Ibuka is genius inventor, but also he is such a nice person and great person, built such huge company. That is, for me, is like amazing, And by the way, he actually created a ESPR, ESP, ESPR lab. So like superhuman ability. He believed also maybe we have more ability to detect something. For example, spirit, for example, or parallel world. He was not joking. He created. He put the laboratory in the Sony Corporation, but he used his own money. And a lot of people actually in there, they're actually creating like supernatural, experimental some works. That's amazing. They closed it after Mr. Ibuka died, unfortunately. But Ibuka just go beyond just engineering life. It's amazing. So he always said, if you have ability, okay, you're supposed to have a creative failure because you want to use your ability. So just do it and try and fail. That's fine. Creative failure, you must experience the failure. I will support you to experience the failure. That's what he said. It's amazing. I wish, he was my boss in Tokyo, so that maybe I didn't leave the company. But anyway, this is some story about Mr. Masaru Ibuka of the Sony Corporation. And if you have any message or any opinions about this movie, let me know. I can exchange ideas. Again, this is nothing to do with Module 3, but I'm really happy that if you watch this movie and if you enjoy it. Thank you for watching.